I'm using 3/4 inch plywood for the two sides of my ramp. And if you wanted this project to last even longer outside, you could use pressure-treated plywood. The ramp I'm building needs to be 4 feet tall, which is really convenient because that's the same width of a standard sheet of plywood. And the other measurement that I need to know is the transition radius, basically the curve of the ramp. If I was building a quarter pipe, the standard formula is to take the height of your ramp, multiply it by 2, and then subtract 1. For instance, that would give a 4 foot tall ramp a radius of 7 feet. But I have been tasked with making a launch ramp, so I need a larger radius. That way whoever's riding flies out rather than flying up. I think I'm gonna try for something like a 10 or 12 foot radius and see how that looks. To do that, I'm gonna grab some paracord to create a compass. Really, you could use any type of string. Then I grabbed a heavy block of wood and put a screw into it that paracord can go around. After that, I grabbed my tape measure and I marked 10 feet on my string, and then I positioned my wood block so that the mark was at the bottom of my plywood. I also made sure there was room at the top of the ramp for a 2x4 brace and marked that radius. I also wanted to see what a 12-foot radius would look like, so I moved my block and marked that one as well. Here on the left, we've got our 10-foot radius, and on the right is a 12-foot radius. And that gives you a shallower slope. I'm going with the 12-foot radius. That way riders will launch out rather than launching up. I used some scrap 2x4s to prop up my plywood, and then I used a high tooth count blade on my jigsaw to cut out each side panel. After the first piece was complete, I used it to mark the second. And I flipped the plywood so that the same face that the jigsaw was running on was what I was using to mark the second piece. That way any blade deflection wouldn't be transferred onto the other side panel. This is pretty much the biggest ramp that you can make using only one piece of plywood for your sides, and it really limits waste. I screwed the panels together temporarily, and then I used my tape measure to mark every 8 inches for a 2x4 brace. Then I just unscrewed those pieces and I marked where my 2x4s are going to be. That way I could just visualize it easier before pre-drilling holes everywhere I want to put screws. I needed to cut a lot of 2x4 cross supports at 46.5 inches, and to make sure they were all the same size, I used my speed square and the circular saw, and I just made a small mark on my tape measure where I wanted to line up my speed square. I think I remember using 14 of these pieces, even though I only cut 12 here at the start. This whole assembly process would be a lot easier with 2 people rather than just 1, even though it is totally possible. To get around not having an extra set of hands, I started by using 1 short screw on each side of the 2x4 through the plywood side. After I used that to get it in place, I then came back and pre-drilled a hole through the plywood into the 2x4 before sinking in 3 2.5-inch wood screws. I used some spacers beneath this bottom brace, that way if the ground wasn't quite level, it wouldn't cause the ramp to shake and move as much. If I was building a stationary ramp though, I would not use these spacers. Once I wasn't worried about everything toppling over on me, I could start adding these 2x4 braces every 8 inches, and this process went by pretty quick. And quick pro tip, even though I already mentioned it before, it's really important to pre-drill through this plywood into your 2x4 braces. That way they're a lot less prone to splitting and cracking. That would ultimately make the joint less sturdy and the ramp overall less strong. I've got a lot of experience building stuff, but not a lot of experience building or using ramps. So if there's questions in the comments down below that you guys can help answer, please do so. That way we can make this a good resource for people learning and wanting to build something useful. I also made sure this brace wasn't quite touching the concrete in case this ramp goes somewhere with a little bit uneven ground, and I needed to put this 2x4 horizontal. That way it could actually fit. And I cut an extra 2x4, that way I could put these two together to make a little bit stronger run up. It's best to measure and cut these vertical supports in place rather than cut according to the plans. That way you make sure you've got a 0 tolerance gap and it's as strong as possible. Placing this board perpendicular to the plywood basically acts like a spine and gives it a lot of rigidity. It also creates a frame with the 2x4s above and below it. And that pretty much takes all the wiggle out of this ramp, and our next step, adding the plywood top, is going to even sure it up more. I used these scrap pieces of wood as positive stops on either side of the ramp on the top and bottom to keep things aligned. And now it's time to attach the 1/2-inch plywood top. The material I'm using bends pretty easy, but if you're getting a lot of cracking or if your material is struggling, you can wet down your plywood with water, and this will allow it to take shape easier. I worked from the center out of each board, and that seemed to work the best. It made it to where the panel wasn't shifting left or right as much. And it didn't take long for me to realize it would be very helpful to mark the locations of the 2x4 braces. That way I knew where to screw. I used 1 and 5/8 inch long screws for this, and I used exterior deck screws. You want to make sure that it's rated for outdoor use if your ramps are going outside. And so far, so good. The ramp was just a little bit too long for a single sheet of plywood to work for the top, so I cut an oversized piece and then I screwed that in place before I eventually trimmed it to size with my circular saw at as sharp of an angle as possible. Cool. This really helped. I cut this at an angle so that it would be as flush as possible, but if you wanted this transition to be perfect, you could install masonite or skate light. And that's ramp complete. And before we move on, I'd like to give a big thanks to the sponsor of today's episode, Squarespace. If you need a website, online store, or just a custom domain, Squarespace is your one-stop shop. And the best part is you need zero website building experience. With Fluid Engine, Squarespace's next-generation website design platform, it's never been easier to unlock your unbreakable creativity. Just start with one of Squarespace's best-in-class designer templates that look great right out of the box. And from there, you can customize every aspect of your site with Squarespace's new enhanced drag-and-drop technology on desktop and mobile. There are also no limits to the number of products that you can sell using a Squarespace store, whether those are physical goods, digital goods, or a service product. And if you take payments in person, Squarespace has got you covered. By connecting the Square card reader to the Squarespace app, you can keep track of all of your sales, orders, and inventory both online and in person. That way, everything's up to date. So to learn more, check out my link down in the description, squarespace.com, where you can build out your entire Squarespace site before entering any of your credit card info. And then when it's time to make your website live, don't forget to use my code, ModernBuilds, for 10% off your first site, store, or domain through Squarespace. I use a Squarespace site and store and couldn't recommend them more. Not to mention they have sponsored so much Modern Builds content. So go check it out. Thanks again to Squarespace, you all for watching. Now let's get back to building. All right, ramp is complete, and now we need to make a landing. This is gonna be different from the ramp in that it's a 45-degree angle straight down, instead of a curve with a radius. For my two sides, I'm gonna take another 3/4 inch piece of plywood, and I'm gonna try and cut it diagonally in half. I want this to be a mirror image, but if you do this cut and it's not perfect, don't worry. Just trace the smaller piece onto the larger one, and then cut that big one down to match. Just like before, I was making a 48-inch wide landing, which means I needed a lot of 46.5-inch long 2x4 braces. I made a mark every 8 inches for one of those 2x4 braces with the panels screwed together. That way I could transfer the marks to both panels at the same time. I also decided to pre-drill all of the holes with the two panels screwed together this time, and it worked great and it was faster. Assembly the second time was a little smoother because I already figured out a couple of tricks for how to brace everything up while I got the first few 2x4s in. Again, I used that 1 and 5/8 screw to hold the 2x4 in place while I pre-drilled the other screw locations to prevent my braces from getting split or cracked. I'm cutting the top of this piece to 22.5 degrees, which is the angle of our landing. We've basically got a rise of 4 feet over a run of 8. Which comes out to a 22.5 degree slope. The landing was still a little wobbly because we didn't have all of our corners connected, and then it started getting really strong, just like the ramp, once we added our vertical supports. It's never a bad idea to add more bracing, especially to a landing, because that's going to take a lot more force than the ramp will. With that in mind, I attached an 8-foot 2x4 underneath all of the 2x4 cross supports to strengthen it up. I figured out where our 2x4s are going to need to merge, and I married up two 2x4s together to make a strong beam, and then I could attach 3/4 inch plywood for the landing. The ramp needed the 1/2 inch plywood to be able to bend, but on the landing, we want the strength of that 3/4 inch. And it was way easier to lay out all of these lines on a flat surface. It even allowed me to make the vertical lines, that way the screws were perfectly in line. I didn't need to worry about the positive stops on the sides because everything was laying flat. And honestly, I really don't have any great advice. You just want to make sure that the plywood top is lined up really square. And if you can, set your circular saw to 22.5 degrees here. That way the plywood can sit flush with the ground. At this point, I was really excited to see the landing and the ramp next to each other. Now this ramp and landing is for a friend, not me. This is way too big of a jump for me to try, but in the next couple weeks, I'm gonna have a video coming out where these get used. I'll make sure and leave a link to that down in the description. As always, thanks a ton for watching. Make sure and like, comment, and subscribe down below, and we'll see you next time on Modern Builds. Bye, everybody.